morning, everyone. This is an amazing turnout for such a rainy day, so thank you for being here. Well, if we haven't met before, or if this is your first time here, my name is Priyanka Vasagam. I work as a kidswear technical designer, and I also run my illustration studio called Meraki Blues Studio. And I've been a volunteer with this amazing group for a little over a year now, and it's been a fun journey. Okay, let's get going. So, I have a little question for you all today. I'll give you a moment to consider. So, what do you think creativity means to you? Let's get a quick pulse check. By show of hands, let me know how many of you think creativity is a skill, as in something you develop, work on. Okay, and how many of you think it's a trait, as in something you're born with, like it's a trait, inherent? Okay, and how many of you think it's a habit? Okay, and how many of you think it's a muscle, as in something you have to train and exercise? Okay, that's a fair amount. Looks like my work here just got a lot harder. But yeah, there are no wrong answers here. As a self-taught artist, I've always felt that creativity is a learnable skill. I've always had the mindset that everything is figure-outable, everything is a learnable skill. But today, I'm here to share my perspective and experiences on how I now see it as a habit, as something that you can cultivate and develop over a period of time. So, to give you a little background on how I got started, back in 2017, when I landed my first corporate job fresh out of college, I felt like I was missing something. Very typical, right? So I found about art journaling as a hobby, picked it up, and I found it to be very therapeutic. I call this my Tumblr era because I absolutely romanticized every aspect of my life, and I loved it. Even though I'd been doing it for a couple of years, I felt like I wanted to create art outside of the pages of my sketchbook. You know, kind of expand and venture out. Fast forward to 2020, I was wrapping up my graduate program. I knew I had no prospects of landing a job in the summer of 2020. Like, graduating in 2020 was not the best time. And back then, if you remember, CreativeMornings had pivoted to doing Zoom sessions. So I signed up to every single virtual field trip they had to offer. So I did everything from like learning Dungeons and Dragons and meeting a few of you here on ice cream socials virtually. So that was great. This is also where I first heard about the 100-Day Project. So for those of you who don't know what a 100-Day Project is, it's a global art project where you pick up an idea and simply work on it for the next 100 days. So back then, the Boston team was also running 100 days of CM Boss for, you know, building it as a community here. And I thought this was a fun way to fill my days. I absolutely had nothing going on for me, so this is something that I could use. Now I thought about how I would be sharing this experience, so I'm going to be pulling out all my 100 pieces here. I've actually never put them all together before, so this is really exciting for me. So when I first started, so just to give you a disclaimer, I took more than a year to finish this 100-day project. There were too many things going on during the pandemic. There was no way I was going to finish it in 100 days. When I first started, if you can see here, I was learning a new software for digital illustrations called Procreate. So you can see that I started off learning simple techniques, just how to navigate the app, just exploring little. Somewhere around here, I graduate, I bring out my acrylics and wash. I'm like, I think I can paint now. But soon I'm like, I don't think so. I'm going back to learning this. And this was also around where I experienced a personal loss. So I took a long time to kind of cope up and get back into it. I also started exploring a lot of subjects that resonated with my Indian roots. This got a lot of attention from the people who are following my work. So that's the story of how I set my first online store. I started selling selected pieces of my work as I did the 100-day project. Now this is day 51 to 100, and you can see that they've got a lot detailed. I was spending anywhere between 4 to 5 hours on this. So I was spending little chunks of time every day to do this. I also went on to license 2 of these prints a little later on. And yeah, we also welcomed our first baby around here. I came back, did day 99 and 100 to wrap it up. It's a little hard to see here, so I just have a couple of snapshots to see just how much my skill level had progressed. So this is day 21 when I just started, and this is somewhere in between. Now I briefly touched about the topic of becoming a mother somewhere at the end there. Well, motherhood has been a transformative experience for me. Back then, before I entered the space, I remember I was so hung up on the fact that I was going to lose myself, lose my creativity, along with my hair when I become a mother. I was so worried. I did not know what to expect as a first-time mother, and I was just determined to sketch whenever I could when we had our son. I even packed up my sketchbooks and markers in my hospital bag. I was crazy. I don't remember much of what else I packed in there, but this was the first thing I did. And probably the most important thing that I was worried about was that I was worried that this momentum I had going for myself in terms of creating art and expanding on a new skill was going to come to a crashing halt. Soon we bring our baby home, and I find myself drawing every minute I could spare. So I was essentially sketching when the baby slept, during our nighttime feeds, anytime I felt stressed out. And back then it was a lot. And as a new mother who was not able to process much of what was going on with me, I felt that turning towards my art felt so good. Just like my journaling practice, this felt therapeutic to me. What I did not realize back then was I was falling back into these routines and repeated patterns that I'd set myself up, and I found a lot of comfort in falling back into them. So over the last 2 years, I found that my momentum with creativity had only propelled. I found myself creating a lot more than I did before with a little system that I created for myself, just by doing a little bit every day. This also helped me tackle a very important challenge that I had with my creativity. That was overthinking. Now, I had no time to think, let alone overthink. So this motivated me to focus, pushed me to act quickly. If I wanted to do something, I just had to do it. And as a person who suffered from self-doubt a lot of us do, I found that just this craziness kind of did help me a little. I also started refining and defining my process a lot more over the last 2 years. I started seeking new ventures, new avenues for my art, and showcasing it in different platforms. This is just an example of how my process goes with like storyboards and initial sketches and final output. This is actually a short form reel for a music video, so anything with red is supposed to be animated basically, and I didn't know animation. I was still learning about it. So yeah, this had been fun. With rituals, routines, and repetition, habits evolve into skills, and skills open up the pathway to opportunity. Now, the 100-day project started again earlier this year in February, and I wanted to do something fun and easy. Unlike last time where I wanted to learn a new skill or build a body of work, this time I just wanted to have fun and do a piece every day and just simply build upon the routine I had going for myself. I was thinking a lot about what I wanted to do. I had a tote bag on my wish list this year. I just wanted to illustrate one tote bag. I don't know about you guys, but I love a good tote bag. I would do almost anything for a free tote bag. So I thought, why not do 100 days of tote bags? So I started, for the last 30 days, I've been doing 30 days of tote bags. 100 days of tote bags, but it's just been 30 days. So I've been spending 30 minutes every day to get this going. I'll be honest, it's not been easy to fall into this routine. I work a 9 to 5, spend a 5 to 9 with my son, and figure out 30 minutes just for myself. And I found out that I was actually optimizing every other routine I had going on in my day-to-day life just so that I could get 30 minutes of uninterrupted drawing. And I also, so part of the 100-day project is also you document or showcase your progress. So basically, you post it on social media, and I found a comfortable way where I can post it every day. So I've been posting my progress, but not much focus on the output, just the progress. And yeah, it's been a really fun project to do so far, and I just hope I get 100 tote bags after this. Yeah. So if you are someone who's looking to build a new skill, or looking to create or get into a new hobby, or even just expand on your creative process, I would suggest thinking about building a system. Now, building a goal has never worked for me in the past. I often find that I get overwhelmed when I just set a goal, but rather setting up a sustainable system where you find yourself falling into a routine has helped me. I've found that for myself, habitual creativity is better than sporadic creativity, wherein you are spending a little bit every day to do something instead of just waiting for the inspiration to strike. So if you are interested in it, I would suggest finding some time to create every day. It could be anything. You either read a page, write 100 words every day, paint a pair of socks every day, find 100 ways to eat cheese every day. I don't know, whatever tickles your bone, whatever you want to do. But try to find, try to find time for yourself every day. And systems can also free up your cognitive bandwidth. If you're constantly thinking about what you want to do, or how you want to do it, or what your output is going to be, you're going to be spending a lot of cognitive bandwidth on this. And this in turn will reduce your willpower to do this over a period of time. A good example from the 100-day project is someone who started sketching from a photo that appeared in the New York Times. I thought this is really smart because you have something that's deciding for you. It's a generative idea, and you're not spending as much time deciding what you do, but rather you're doing it. And lastly, systems create momentum. By just showing up every day, you are doing incremental progress, and this builds a huge momentum as you go on. If you think about it, I was not doing anything extraordinary. I was simply showing up every day. The secret to meaningful progress at anything is just showing up, sitting down, and figuring it out, and the same applies to your creativity. Now, I only allowed myself the space and grace to be whoever I was when I turned up to my art practice. And most importantly, I did not wait until I knew who I was to get creating. Most of the days, I turned up as an overwhelmed mother, and I was still able to find my voice. Thank you, everyone. If you do want to follow my work and keep me accountable for the next 70 days, this is where I'll be posting a lot of it. Yeah, I'm open to any questions. Yeah.
Will you buy the tote bag?
Yes. I want to put it up. Yeah. Yeah. More? If not, we can.
Any other questions? Raise it. Show of hands. Who would buy a tote bag? Oh yes.
Oh my God. Okay, now I should. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we do have some time
Yes.
for an activity, I would love that.
Yes.
We talked a lot about drawing and sketching, so I want to get you guys a little creative today before you get out. Oh, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. So I know you mentioned like how you get overwhelmed. So does that ever stifle your creativity? Like after when you allot the time to do your 30 minutes of sketching or drawing, if you're too overwhelmed, does that stop you from being creative?
I do a check with myself. Sometimes it is hard. It's not easy. I have a list of essentials. If at any time I feel I'm compromising on one of them, I'm okay with skipping that day. I'm okay. Like, let's say that particular day I feel like sleep is just major, it's important. I'm okay with skipping that day. I just make sure it's not into a snowball. Like, if it becomes like, if you're like 20 days ahead, I'm like scrambling to catch up. But to answer your question, when you fall into the habit of just doing something every day, it depends. If it's something that you like, this is something that I definitely love doing, and it didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter. And most often, I would be frustrated or overwhelmed. And I have a timer for myself. A 30-minute is when I know it's going good. Anything more is just out of my hands, but I'm still okay with it. Some days I cringe, like I cannot post this, like, oh my God, like please no one see this, but I still do it because that's how I turned out. Like that's how I turned to my art. So that is okay, but I do a check with myself if I feel too overwhelmed. I'm okay with like skipping it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, do you ever, okay, at least for me, I find that sometimes I fall. Sometimes after a while I hit a wall where it's always something the same thing. Like, have you ever hit a point where you find that whatever you do is repetitive in terms of the art?
Repetitive?
And how do you break that?
I actually don't mind repetitive. So, in terms of repetitive, do you mean your subjects are the same or you feel like you're doing the same thing?
The drawing.
Just the drawing?
Yeah.
I actually don't mind. I feel like, you know how they say you have to find your voice or you have to find your style? Like, I honestly believe having some repetitive elements is okay, but I don't mind. Do you think you are building up or getting better when you're repeating this.
No, I'm just flushing out the designs on my head, that's all.
That's okay. I actually don't mind repetitive things because I feel like that helps build my voice. When you build, like if you look at like iconic brands or like just any iconic artist and their voice, they always have something repetitive. Hot pink in color is my repetitive thing. Like I like to do it a lot. So yeah, I do. I'm okay with like repeating. Yeah. We're going to do a scribble swap. Now this is just an interactive activity where you kind of get into. Okay, let's go by this. First, find yourself a partner. Or, you know, three people on a table, that's okay too. Okay, so I hope each of you has a paper. There should be one on your table. If not, we can help you find it. And do all of you have a pen to do this? Yes, okay. Please do write your name because we're going to be swapping this a lot. I don't want you to get it back. Please write your name. Now, if you're all done with writing down your names, please swap it. Like, give it to someone else. Give it to someone next to you. Okay. So next step is going to be. So we talked about, you know, a deciding factor. So I'm going to do that for you guys. So whoever has the sheets or not, just close your eyes and scribble. Just do whatever you want to scribble on there, on the paper. Anything. It could be anything. The randomest thing. Just scribble. Yeah, okay, I think we're done. It shouldn't take too long for a scribble. Okay, so now we are going to be creating pieces of art with a scribble. So swap it back, and you can interpret it to anyone. Yeah, because now there are a lot of people. And let's do 10 seconds each. We're going to do 4 swaps. So, and try to create anything, however you want to interpret it, okay? Eyes open, please, eyes open. Only the scribble was eyes closed, sorry about that. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds. Okay, time's up. Let's swap it back to someone else. And think about when you are receiving this, how you're feeling when you're getting this, okay? So another 10 seconds on the clock. Interpret it whatever way you want. You could draw, you could write, whatever way you want. Swap one last time. And I see we have groups of 3. So why not get your own swap this time? Like get your own card this time. As you get your scribbles, just try to take a moment to see how everyone has interpreted these scribbles. Yeah, and just, you know, how it's a nice way to welcome others' ideas and perspective through this. And important question, how many of you felt like you got the most beautiful scribbles? Just kidding, it could be anything, whatever. It's a good reflection activity, so I hope you guys had fun with this. All right, can we just give it up for Priyanka one more time? Thank you so much.